Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and the most of all, love of what you are doing. Pelly. Ooh, Pelly. P-E-L-E. Pelly.
Pelly. Gotcha.
Pelly.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's a very understanding quote that people need to take seriously about what success is.
Of course.
We're going to see a lot of that anyway. There's some out here. I'm not going to knock them. There's a lot of them out here, really.
Right. Of course. Of course.
So, yeah. That's cool.
So welcome to another edition of Double Take Sports Talk with Darren. That's Daryl over there on the other side. You ready to do this?
Let's rock and roll, man.
Let's do this.
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, well, first, I just wanted to get out what was trending. I know you've seen a couple of these things that was trending. The first thing that was trending is the Minnesota Lynx game, where 4 officers working that game walked out during that game.
They walked out?
Yeah, they walked out.
Why did they do that?
Because they were offended by what the Minnesota Lynx t-shirt said. Change starts with us. In recent tragedies of black people getting killed, the police officers that were off duty that was working at security felt very offended, so they left.
Wow. That's not good.
I don't know if that was their purpose to actually do that, but then again, you never know what people are thinking.
No, you don't.
You never know what they're thinking.
No, you don't.
But I don't think that even doing that for a sporting event was a good idea anyway.
No, that should have been left out the building.
Mm-hmm. That could have been something you could have wore after the game, right before the game, but not, on the court. Because now it could, possibly lead to distractions. Did they win last night?
That was one of the mistakes I was going to cover. Nobody didn't play yesterday. All teams play tonight.
Oh, also, this must have been another night that they did that. When was the last time they played and did they win that night?
Sunday. I think the last time they played was Sunday? No. Yeah. No, I think they last played Saturday. And that was at home.
Did they win?
Target Center, yes. Yeah. They did. They actually blew them out. They blew out Dallas Wings 93-56.
I just, feel that, that could cause a distraction for the team. I mean, it's great that you do what you do, but as of, doing that on the court, you do have to be considerate when you are around other people. Of course, a lot of people are not going to be considerate, which is probably the reason why a lot of this stuff is happening. But then again,
that's going to be a serious issue. Even though it's a good thing that
you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and that too, and mentioning them being on the road playing tonight. Good that they're not at home because something probably could have happened. Mm-hmm. So the next home game, we probably could get more serious. They probably have to enhance security.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
With that T-shirt, it says a change. A change can, deal with anything. So you don't know what they mean by that. Mm-hmm. So they could have blew the place up.
Yep.
You don't know.
And then one more thing that was trending that I wanted to share. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you really paid attention to this. For those of you that are WWE fans, Vince McMahon announced the new SmackDown commissioner, which is Shane McMahon.
So to me, it just seemed like that whole storyline going into WrestleMania just seemed like it was just a bunch of waste.
Yeah, it was. So the whole idea is that Shane McMahon is named the new SmackDown commissioner. So now Stephanie is going to take over Shane's role as commissioner of Raw. So now you got the three triangle. You got Vince McMahon, that is the higher of it all, with the branch trees going to Raw, Stephanie, SmackDown, Shane. So it's a big triangle.
Sense, so it could be in general sense that Stephanie got the higher position of Shane. In a general sense.
Because he trusted Stephanie more than Shane.
That too. And by Raw being the longest tenured show in WWE, that's going to be the longest mark. Mm-hmm. So Stephanie got that mark. And SmackDown's been, what, almost 20 years?
Yeah.
You have 2019?
And you have to remember when Shane McMahon went on to own WCW and ECW, I believe it was. Matter of fact, him and Stephanie both did that.
Yeah.
Where Shane went and did WCW and Stephanie did ECW.
Yes.
At that point in time when Shane did it, and I believe there was I may be wrong, and I think this was discussed amongst the two of us and James, and I think it was being mentioned that there's like a contract clause to where he could not go and actually own another wrestling company if he's, part of his father's inheritance with the company as WWE. So at that time, of course, it was WWF, and I think that was a real storyline.
Yeah.
I think that was a real storyline that really, actually used to make the ratings go up based on that. And he used that, and I think Vince is more like, well, okay, I can't really, trust him that much. I could trust Stephanie, although Stephanie went behind Shane, but Stephanie showed more faithfulness towards the company.
And then on top of that, what really put the icing on the cake is when Shane actually left the company for good, and then now he wants to come back. So what are your chances that now you're back, that you're going to do the same thing again? It's all about their loyalty. Even though Stephanie did what she did with Shane, she still showed the loyalty because she never backed out.
No,
she never quit. She
no.
never did that. Shane did. Shane did all that.
So Vince because if you want my guess, if Vince was to pass on and he had to leave the company with one of them two, it would most likely be Stephanie, because Stephanie has more experience over Shane because of the fact Stephanie has been there and she's been with her father. She's been around her father to understand the company. And that's where, believe it or not, Hunter comes in.
Right.
That's where Hunter comes in. He learned a lot because Stephanie was always around Vince. So, what do you think Triple H was doing? He was being around his wife, also being around Vince. So you have these different situations that most WWE fans don't really understand.
Right.
Especially back in the 90s is when, I think the 80s and the 90s is when things really started to turn for the better, but for the worst amongst the McMahon family. Absolutely. Not to include in the early 2000s too.
Absolutely.
To me, it was good.
It was.
Wrestling is not the same as it was back in the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, as it is now. Especially the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just saying.
Yeah,
I just thought I'd just throw that out there.
That right there, that just shows their way of entertaining. There was some dumb stuff that actually did happen that did risk a lot of wrestlers' lives, but you can't. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Well, what's up with any headlines for the NFL?
As a matter of fact, yes. Well, I don't really have, but it's just something as we speak of in the WWE aspect. Now, we all know one WWE wrestler, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Of course.
Yes. He, now all of a sudden, put it out. There was an article. Who wrote the article? There was a guy at CBS Sports. My laptop loves to run slow. John Breach put this out yesterday. pretty much yesterday, called the People's Coach. Yeah, the People's Coach.
Stop
Now,
it.
this
Stop
is where
it.
yes, this is now where that they say The Rock would have loved to play for one and one coach only.
Let me take the wildest guess.
One coach and one coach only. And then if you're gonna guess something that you have no business guessing, don't even try it.
Okay, so this has.
But go ahead and guess it anyway.
But this has nothing to do with current NFL coaches.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does. Let's see. I want to say the Miami Dolphins head coach.
No. Good guess, but no.
Oh.
Bruce Arians.
Stop it!
Bruce Arians. Yes.
Stop it.
He loved his coaching style.
I do too. I love his coaching style. I love Bruce Arians.
Yes.
I think he's one of the best coaches to coach the game.
Yes.
I really do.
He's awesome.
He's awesome to me.
And he would have loved to play for Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians, you have to. I don't think a lot of people paid attention to this. When you look at the Arizona Cardinals, that whole coaching line is nothing but full of football wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They all average over their 60s and 70s. They have learned a lot about football. You can't fool these people.
Never can, never will.
You can't fool these people. But it's up to the players to actually go out there and literally actually listen to their coaching style. Because their coaching style to me is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It just would have been nice if the ball would have came down there.
Yeah, that would have been.
If Dick the ball would have came down there, oh my goodness, you want to talk about a team that for the ages,
yeah,
they would have been it.
Absolutely.
They would have been it.
They would have been it.
They would have been it.
And that right there, that just shows the respect that Bruce Arians has, with the fan bases.
But see, here's the thing. I don't even think Bruce Arians had that much attention. And it wasn't until Chuck Pagano came and asked him to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back and took over when Chuck Pagano was diagnosed with leukemia.
Yes.
That's when he started putting his mark on everything. He went 9-3 with the team on Andrew Luck's rookie year and made it to the first round of the playoffs and got put out by Baltimore. I was upset to see Bruce Arians go because I believe the coach could have done a lot better with Bruce Arians versus him not. And as you can see, look at them. Yeah, they made it to the divisionals the following round, but the following year, but they got put out by New England. And then they made it to the championship game, got put out by New England again.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Bruce Arians would have been able to exploit the defense to be able to stop New England. Because I don't even think he was with the team after Andrew Luck rookie year. Am I correct?
Who, Bruce Arians?
Yeah.
Yeah,
did he leave right afterwards?
I think he left
right afterwards. And went straight to Arizona and been with them since. Now, although he has not won no championships with Arizona, but do not be surprised if he is a contender this year, next year, and the following year if he stays for 3 years.
If he stays for 3 years, I'll give him some time. But let me go deeper into depth of why The Rock would want Bruce Arians as his coach if he was playing football.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people would say, I would want Bill Belichick as my coach.
You're nuts.
Yeah, for one thing, you're nuts. Here is The Rock's reason why. And John Breach puts this out there. This is second person of The Rock speaking for him. This is what it is. For Bill Belichick, The Rock doesn't care about 4 Super Bowl titles. He don't care about that.
Me neither.
He only cares about coaches who sing songs about beating people up, which is exactly what Arians does in the new premiere from when NFL met up with the Amazon. They got this new documentary, All or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that right there is the reason why he would want Bruce Arians as his coach. It's similar to WWE. What The Rock was doing in WWE, he was beating people up. Bruce Arians beat these people up, beat them up. But he used another word I'm not going to say.
Of course. I know what it is, of course. Right. Yeah, I got you.
Right.
I got you.
So, that is, right there is the reason why he wants Bruce Arians and not Bill Belichick. I wouldn't want Bill Belichick.
I don't want him either.
I wouldn't want him.
I'm sorry. I would not want... I don't even want Chuck Pagano.
I wouldn't want Chuck Pagano either. Don't get me wrong, he's a good coach. I love him dearly. You know, he got football wisdom. He definitely has that. But the issue with Chuck Pagano is that he can't hold his own. He cannot hold his own. You know, with him and Ryan Grigson going at it all the time, you know, he can never hold his own. He is the coach of the team, and he's supposed to be like, hey, this is my team.
Right.
This is the way I want to do it. If you do not like this, you can either, one, get rid of me, or two, stick with it. Right. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. You can always throw your input in, but you're not ready to be no head coach Larry Bird or vice president Nate McMillan.
Exactly.
It ain't finna work like that.
No. It ain't gonna work like that.
It ain't finna work like that.
Right.
So, if y'all think that this is a whole idea of just about winning Super Bowls, for some people it's not. It's not for some people.
No. Mm-mm.
But in another general aspect, and we was talking about earlier about the killings of, the 5 officers in Dallas and the 2 black men that got killed recently. There was a headline that got put out yesterday. I think it was yesterday about Cleveland Browns running back Isaiah Crowell's.
Didn't know he was a running back.
Yeah, he's a running back. He put out a very disturbing, I think it was a tweet. A very disturbing tweet about the whole killings that has been going on for the past, week or so. And what he did was he had posted a drawing that graphically showed a hooded individual putting what looks like a machete into the throat of a police officer.
You better believe they're gonna investigate that one. You better believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. They have found it very, disturbing. And he apologized for his actions. But the Browns organization is saying, dude, this is a serious issue.
Knock it off.
Yeah, it's a serious issue. You are going to have to do more than just saying that you're sorry about it, that you apologize for this. You are going to have to start making a positive impact to prove your theory. You're going to have to do that. And in other words, knock it off. Just like he said.
I am surprised he still is with the Browns after that. I'm surprised.
Me too, dear.
I really am surprised.
But right now, at this moment, too much is going on. Mm-hmm. Maybe he will be. Maybe he will be not be. Mm-hmm. Maybe he will get suspended.
Maybe.
Via discipline. But, we'll see what happens.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Because that's right here. They're not doing too much right now. But I think sooner or later, once they get their heads cleared and once everything, comes into play, yeah, I think something will happen to him. Something will happen to him.
Right.
But in the meanwhile, spend some time on Twitter, and just in case if anybody hasn't seen or heard or anything like that, just going to go over what was being put out on the Double Take Sports Talk tweets that was being tweeted out all of yesterday. Right after we got off the show yesterday.
And folks, literally, when we mean literally.
When we say literally, it literally, as soon as we stopped, breaking news came out. Okay? Breaking news hit that Tim Duncan announced his retirement after 19 seasons in the NBA, and he had played all 19 with the Spurs. That literally just hit the button once we had stopped. Once we stopped. Had
we had another 2 minutes,
yeah, once we had
that would have been shared right on the air, right at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was very, very tight. So I figured, okay, since we couldn't have the time to, post it on the air, talk about it on the air, I'll just go ahead and put it out via Twitter. And that's exactly what I did. That was one thing. And then I put out a hashtag. Of course, everybody is welcome to their opinions. I
put mine out there.
Yeah, Derek put his out there. So, yeah. Follow in and join the conversation. Of course, we're on Twitter at DTST2414. With Tim Duncan officially retired, is Greg Popovich next?
I said yes. But if he's not, I'll give it about another year or two.
Now, I thought, I didn't put it out on Twitter, but I thought, you can also use the hashtag, what do you think? Use the hashtag, what do you think? And, of course, put your thoughts out there. Always welcome to it. But I thought that Manu Ginobili would have been next.
Yeah, he even announced that he's staying. And return to San Antonio that I know of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's staying with San Antonio. Yeah. He ain't going nowhere.
Ain't he another one that stayed with San Antonio all of his years? Mm-hmm. This is going to be his 15th season.
Yep. Sure is.
He's another faithful one. Oh, ye faithful, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili.
And Tony Parker.
I think he's about to go to enter his 12th or 13th year.
Yeah. That's just straight out experience.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just straight out experience. Also, that happened yesterday. Jet Solinger and the Raptors agreed to a 1-year, $6 million contract, which just is in the $6 million range. It's not exactly specified what $6 million it is, but it's in the $6 million range. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he broke that himself. Jared Sullinger broke that himself on Twitter. He tweeted that out there, and they happened to get caught to it. Mm-hmm. And also, Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, he had got arrested in East Lansing, Michigan on Sunday at 2:28 a.m. and that's Eastern time. And that at that time, I had just put out that he had got arrested, but the update was that he got arrested in a restaurant scuffle. But the good news is nobody got hurt, but the bad news is that he got arrested. Not a smart move.
Well, do you want to add one more to that?
What's up?
If he is found guilty on these charges, he will serve 93 days in jail.
And a $500 fee. Which I was just going to get into. That was the next tweet I was just going to get into. That he would, if he did get convicted, he would have faced 93 days in jail, which is, 3 months and 3 days? 90 months is 3 months, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
3 months, 3 days in jail, and a $500 fee.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, the math, not the whole situation.
Yeah, not the whole situation, just the math. just the math. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted.
It's a shame. It's a shame
that he decides that he wants to go back to Michigan and act a butt fool.
Yeah. Or go to Michigan and
act a fool. Here's the question. Here's the question that I would like to know from you. With Draymond Green, arrested and he got into this assault in a restaurant, what is it now that you see about him? What do you see about the real Draymond Green now? With this arrest, and then with him with all these, flagrant fouls all the way up in the playoffs, and then serving that suspension for the flagrant foul. What do you see in the real Draymond Green?
Seems like something's going on in his personal life to me.
But don't you think it is enough that he's taking it out on everybody else?
Yes, I think he got something personal going on in his life. You know, whatever's going on in his life, he's just, frustrated, especially after that 3-1 lead blow to Cleveland. I think he's really taking it personally, and I just think that he's attacking people that's around him instead of making the necessary choices to get better.
I agree there. I definitely agree. I see that at this point that he is still, obviously upset about that championship run. They were supposed to have won that championship.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, with them blowing the 3-1 lead like that,
Mm-hmm.
and him getting suspended, which really
hurted
the whole entire that right there really changed the whole momentum of the finals.
Yeah.
And it seems like now that he is a member of the USA basketball team, I felt that he could have took his anger and frustrations out on that.
I agree.
Instead of just doing it at a Michigan restaurant.
No, I agree. But he definitely got something personal going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what.
I don't either. But yeah, that's all of the tweets that was sports related in the Twitter world that I put out there on our feed. Of course, you can always follow us at DTST 2414 if you want to know any more thing else about what's out there, and I'm going to be tweeting them out there.
And so if you don't have Twitter, I know most of the people use Facebook. Mm-hmm. You can definitely use Facebook. We're working on Instagram. Well, we're going to try to we'll work up a plan for Instagram and LinkedIn and all of them for people that don't have Facebook and Twitter. Try to have it for most of the, Pinterest and all of them. We'll try to have, something out there for everybody for, if they, don't have, one of the other social media sites. But in the meantime, there's 2 other pieces of free agency news that I don't think never made it towards your tweets that needed to be shared. It didn't, because you didn't share it. You shared 2 of them. That was that's Tim Duncan and Jared Sullinger. Sullinger, I can't pronounce his name. Sullinger, thank you. There's 2 other pieces of information on here that needed to be shared as the update for free agencies. This broke out yesterday at 6:46 p.m. The Atlanta Hawks and the point guard, free agent point guard Jared Jack, agreed to a 1-year contract for next season. He will be backing up Dennis Schroeder. This was established after the Jeff Teague trade coming to here in Indianapolis, which he's very proud to come back home, just like how George Hill was. Jeff Teague, just don't get comfortable. Just like George Hill did.
Yeah, just don't get comfortable. If you play well, maybe
you get comfortable. When you a couple championships, you'll be fine. But yeah, they signed him. And as of an information, this is Jared Jack's eighth team in 12 seasons. So he's been bounced around like a ruler. He's been bounced around like a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And so one more thing. Free agent for Chris Humphries agreed to a 1-year, $4 million deal to remain with the Atlanta Hawks.
I thought he was playing for Brooklyn for some odd reason.
He did play for Brooklyn.
He did?
He did.
Gotcha.
But he evidently, I guess, either got traded or he decided to sign with Atlanta last season. I don't know how that came about. So this is what it's about now.
Sounds good to me.
12-year veteran confirmed that himself on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that is everything that's caught up based on this happened today at 12:40 this morning. So that's the latest news on the free agency behalf of what's going on in the NBA. And for those of you, I'm sitting here now and I'm looking at the Facebook and I'm not seeing the tweets that came out via what Duro put out there, what I had just put out there a few minutes ago. I'm not seeing it on here, so it's going to be a little bit of a difficult trying to work this out, see what's wrong with it. So give me, some time to work at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Police now they decide that they want to go ahead and poke fun at Jameis Winston.
I just tweeted that out there.
Now, yeah.
Oh no, not that. I see it. Not that. No. I think I tweeted it out there, but I think I just not seen this picture, and I see they just showed it. No, they put one out there, but it was just a picture of him, of Jameis Winston, but it's not actually of what they was poking fun of him about.
Oh, I don't see it either. I think it was about crab legs being Pokemon?
Yeah. It got some crabs and corn on the cob in front of him, or in the picture.
I didn't get to see the picture.
Yeah, it's on here. It's on our it's on there on our Twitter page. It's on there.
Okay.
It's on there. It's right below. The NFL or ESPN actually tweeted it out there, but the ESPN actually put the picture out there. But
yeah, absolutely.
That I thought that was kind of funny. It's the picture's right there. If you don't see it, it's right here. It is. This is the picture that they put out there.
Oh no! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. So I guess that's the little poke of the fun. That's what really needs to happen. We need the the positive aspects of what's been going on since the recent tragedies and things like that. I know I can always use it on my personal life and all that good stuff, but in your personal life, but we can always use that, but yeah, that's on that behalf.
Feeling alright?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Not much, man. I'm good. Man.
I did my job today.
So
I did a little over 2.5 miles for 30 minutes. I just wanted to get 30 minutes in because I knew we had to get ready for this. So
yeah, I just
went out there and did 30. Yeah.
I just did a half a mile, did another half a mile, walking back. So I did a full mile. Yeah. So yeah, I did good.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm feeling the after effects of it.
Oh, so am I.
Like an old man.
Yeah, which is why I'm sitting here drinking water like crap. It's not even funny.
Sure, I drank 2 bottles of water before I left up out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
cool.
That's a big thing.
Well, other than that, other than there was no WNBA games, other than that, that's...
Yeah, no WNBA games, but there are some tonight. Yes, it's only one. Which I thought was supposed to happen yesterday, but it didn't. Everybody had the day off. So, it's one game tonight. Of course, the Lynx and the Stars. They play it at 12:30, which is a little under 2.5 hours from now.
Where at?
In Eastern Time. They are in San Antonio. They are at the AT&T Center. So, yes, that's the only game that's going to be on tonight. Other than tomorrow, there's going to be about 5 games, maybe even 6. 5 games tomorrow. So,
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind. See if Maya Moore get another triple-double tonight.
We'll see about it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. Of course, once again, you can always follow us. You can always follow us on the social media side and listen for more of our podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at DTST2414.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. You can subscribe on YouTube and also subscribe to our podcast. It flashed me back to something I had to think about. I'm like, crap, I forgot to put the show out there.
Boy, you got some work to do.
I forgot all about that. So.
Boy, you keep forgetting, man. You keep forgetting.
I have to write mental notes and leave them on my laptop and on my screens. Don't forget YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also subscribe on YouTube and also subscribe to our podcast on the podcast app featuring iTunes. Thank you for tuning in. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. The Watts brothers are officially gone.